Yeah.
So, needless to say, it had been a whole lot easier last year than it would be now.
Yeah. So yeah, but she was very supportive, very supportive of the whole thing, and we if it worked out, it worked out, and we went down and signed the contract. I even second guessed myself a couple of times, before I went to sign the contract. I remember going there just to look at it one more time before I signed the contract, and I looked at the 4-foot high grass and the doors wide open on the place and the leaky roof and the black mold throughout the kitchen and not working bathrooms and just all these. There was 500,000 honeybees in the floorboards of the wall of Mary's room, which is the room with all the flies in it. And I knew that we were going to need to get taken care of before we could even do tours or bring people on the property, because it's liability,
Yeah, did you get a beekeeper in there to get those bees out and they start their own bee farm?
Of course. Yeah, we have haunted Hinsdale honey available down the road now in Hinsdale, so you can actually go and get the honey from them. There's a little stand down on the road in Hinsdale that you can get haunted Hinsdale honey, which is pretty neat.
Yeah, that is.
And I can get free honey whenever I want now.
Well, that's interesting. I know somebody who sells coffee if you need to have coffee to go with your honey.
There you go.
And it's haunted coffee. So there you go.
That's cool.
But so you already had, before you knew you were buying a haunted location when you bought a haunted location. Because a lot of people, when they buy, historically speaking, until recently, people did not know that they were buying someplace that was haunted until they bought it and they were restoring it and they find out, oh my God, I got a haunted place. I got to figure this out now.
That's correct. Yeah, I knew that this place had unexplainable evidence coming out of it, and it was what my passion was for, and that's why I bought it for research. I knew that nobody was going to inhabit the place. I knew that I wasn't going to live there. My whole goal was to get it, bring teams in that could help me research it, because I knew it wasn't just for me. It was not a job that only I can take care of. It's going to have to be a collective effort of teams and paranormal enthusiasts that come in to help debunk and try to figure this place out, because it has a lot of layers to it, and that's what we've been doing. And right off the get-go, it was like a unbelievable amount of support. I needed to get that roof done before Christmas. That was the big thing. That roof was another $10,000. I was getting quotes between 10 and 12 grand to have that. Yeah. And with the help of the paranormal community, we had what was called a day of caring, and we had 63 people show up that brought supplies, donations. We ended up getting the whole roof done for about $4 grand. Complete tear off. People came and donated their time, and it was the biggest weight lifted off my shoulders. It was amazing, just to know that there was that type of support. That's the type of people that there are in the paranormal community. They love preservation. They're not in it to tear things down. They want to preserve things. They're historians, and it was just so amazing. It was just unbelievable that the amount of support we got. We still do to this day. I mean, people support it, so it's great. And we're actually moving our efforts onto other locations now, where we can actually help restore and keep other buildings up as well that were going to be torn down.
Well, we'll have to talk some more about some of those other buildings after the break, because I know that once you get the roof on, you can at least stop some of the water damage.
Exactly.
So, and that also keeps, then you can start working on other things inside while in the winter months, so that you can get rid of the mold or at least remediate the mold and all the other things. So there's a lot of things that you're going to have to, that you had to do just so you could get it ready for Haunted Lockdown, because that was the first show I ever saw it on.
Yes.
So, and I know that, I don't even know, we'll have to talk about how you even got them to even notice that it was there. That's the other thing. But hope everybody will come back after this break. They'll get a drink, come back and join us here on WBHM Digital Broadcasting out of Birmingham, Alabama. We'll see you in a few minutes.
listening to WPHM Digital Broadcasting, the best in paranormal talk radio.
Welcome back to the Paranormal Pride. I hope everybody had a good little break. We are here on WBHM Digital Broadcasting out of Birmingham, Alabama, and I'm talking to Daniel Klaes, the owner of the lovely Hinsdale House in, over by Niagara Falls, isn't it? New York?
No, it's actually south of Buffalo, about an hour and a half south of Buffalo, closer to Olean, New York, about 45 minutes away from Erie, Pennsylvania.
I'm from Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
And so I know that other part of New York. You know,
right, the big city.
Yeah, and I lived in Paterson, New Jersey, so I know New York City. I know that part, and the part of Pennsylvania that I know is Gettysburg over.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't know much about around that part because you know what? You guys get too much snow.
Not too bad.
I don't like
Syracuse.
Snow.
Syracuse is actually the king of snow.
Actually, Flagstaff gets more than Buffalo.
There you go. Hey, exactly.
And I had no clue until I drove through there. But I hate snow. We're looking to move to Florida. I hear I can get some pretty cheap houses in Mexico Beach right now.
Oh, geez, yeah.
Don't know where they are. But my prayers go out to the people in Florida and Georgia, and even the people in Danville, Virginia, that lost their lives in the hurricane. I actually have family in Danville, Virginia, that I haven't heard from. So I don't think they're the ones that passed. I would have heard if they passed. But, you know, I feel bad for all the people that are missing someone and all that. It's just horrible seeing all that. And which makes you think about all those other hurricanes that have hit and things like that. You know, natural disasters that end up becoming paranormal playgrounds for paranormal investigators. I hope that's not what happens in Mexico City or Mexico Beach. So, but that's a whole other story. So, but prayers for all those people that are affected and still affected. Even the Air Force Base was almost a total loss down there. It's just, it's just mind-boggling. But you know, when I was growing up, everything I ever saw was all that whole part of New York was always under snow. You would see people up on their roofs shoveling off their snow. Of course, the blizzard of '80 was bad. You know, I think all of us got really bad snow that year, and I just remember that. But, you know, I've been out here in this part of the world for a while. We don't get that bad of snow, usually, knock on wood. We had snow last night.
See, we haven't had any snow yet.
We had flurries just to the north of us. So that's what I'm told. I didn't see anything. I'm not looking.
I saw the pictures from Minnesota this weekend. I was glad I was in Michigan. I was like, wow, look at all that snow in Minnesota.
Oh, yeah. I saw that. So tell me about the Upper Peninsula Paracon.
So this Upper Peninsula Paracon was amazing. It's called the Little Traverse Bay Parafest, and it was unlike any other Paracon that I've been to before because it was all contained in one hotel. It was, I mean, they're normally contained in one hotel, but it was small. It was like 125 people there. Everybody paid and hung out the whole day, Friday night to Saturday evening. I mean, and every presenter spoke, and everybody stayed and listened to the presenter. The vendors were all well taken care of. It was like a family reunion to me. If I didn't know the people there, I got to know them by the end of the 2 days because we ate lunch together, we ate dinner together, we chatted in between the lectures, and it was really well put together. And even after Friday night, after the lectures were over, they rent these cottages out for us. So we were able to invite people to the cottages to hang out and have beverages and just chat and talk paranormal. And I know the Friday night it was bad. I was up till 4 in the morning, 4 in the morning, and I was like, I need to go to bed. We have to be up by 9 in the morning. I was glad I presented the first day, because I'm like, man, I'd hate to have that 9:30 slot on Saturday morning. But it was just an amazing event, really well put together. I felt blessed to be a part of it, and it was just great. I loved it.
Was Rick Wade there?
No, I did not see Rick. I did not see Rick there. He has eluded me. I've spoken to him online, and I've watched some of his live stuff, but I've never actually got to meet the man yet.
My mom knows his family from their bluegrass days.
Oh, yeah?
And so when I talked to him, and my mom and him got to talking, and they realized that they knew each other. And she goes, how in the heck did you find him? I said, I needed a guest for our show because somebody had canceled suddenly. And I was on the road, and I sent Rick a message, and I said, can you be a guest? And he said yes. And so in a hurry, I got to know him, and I started talking to him and found out that his bluegrass family knew my mom. And it was just really kind of weird. He sent my mom one of his books, and so they got to know each other. So they had a special relationship. And my mom didn't believe in the paranormal. So for me, that was a big deal. That's a big deal when she didn't believe in it until I got on TV, and then she believed in it. So that's a whole other thing. So back onto TV, how in the heck did Paranormal Lockdown find out about the Hinsdale House?
This was a location that actually Nick knew about. He was actually researching it. It was back when he was on Ghost Adventures as a potential location to go to. It was someplace he was kind of infatuated with. Now, I had no clue. I had no clue that it was Nick Groff. I had no clue that it was this new show that he was putting together. And I remember getting an email, as I do. I get